Hello, everybody. I want to make sure I'm also heard as well. Yes, that's right. We're going to do a nice wave to the crowd. Thank you so much for being here today for our joint show between XR Women and Engaged. And I want to play my little intro here because I need my own button to do that. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? I do love that so much. So thank you so much for being here, Karen, Julie, and Sophia. Thank you to the crowd and community of XR Women for your incredible organization and for being here and for supporting this show. I am seriously so honored to be here with you and just having the privilege to be able to interview the co-founders of XR Women is a wonderful opportunity. So please give a huge round of applause for Karen, Julie, and Sophia. Thank you so much once again for being here. Huge round of applause. All right.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And I'm just really excited to be here. So XR Women, a wonderful organization made up of professionals in the industry and aspiring professionals, creatives, so many different wonderful people, so many different wonderful women. I have to know first and foremost about the three of you, right? I want to learn a little bit more about you. Karen, would you like to kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background first?
Sure. Well, my professional background is actually in higher education, and I have a PhD in English literature. So how did I end up here in XR? I developed an interest in XR, although we weren't using the term then, back in late 2015, early 2016, through the arts and the ways that women in particular were using new technologies for artistic experimentation. And then the more I learned, the more fascinated with this technology I became. In 2016, I made a complete life change and I dove headfirst into this space, and I haven't looked back, and I'm still super excited about the potential that this technology has for new possibilities for artistic creation, for self-expression and telling stories of oneself or stories of other people, but also for improving productivity and efficiency in business and industry. I think that's super important. So that's where I came from and kind of how I got here.
Yeah, well, the industry is happy to have you. So thank you for being here today, Karen.
Thank you.
Excellent. Julie, we'd love to hear about you as well.
Yeah, sure. So hello, everybody. My name is Julie Smithson, and I'm actually the co-founder of a company called Metaverse. We started Metaverse back in 2016, way before the hype phase, and spell it a little bit differently, METAVRSE. And through our company, we are a 3D web game engine, and we have several products and creator tools for the web. My role there as Chief Operating Officer has put me in the position of developing some really cool projects with my team. Business applications for training, retail, and collaboration purposes. And it only made sense to come together with not only these women, but our entire community to continue learning as the technology was evolving and new releases and new products, new tools. Trying to keep up with that was overwhelming. So, joining into the forces with these three women to create the community we have today is now my passion, as well as I, continue to inspire and educate the next generation of how to use these technologies for good.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
And I should have said I didn't, but I work very closely with Julie every day. I am the Director of Compliance and Immersive Learning at Metaverse, so we work hand in glove.
Yeah. Well, that's what I love about XR Women is that you kind of bring people together. And two notes that I really wanted to make first and foremost. Karen, I saw you were wearing the T-shirt for Metaverse the other day. Talk about the coolest T-shirt I've ever seen. I mean, the gold and everything in there. I was like,
we have necklaces and all the things.
Oh, that's so cool. And really great branding. That's what I love about Metaverse is it has really brilliant branding. So I think that is just so cool.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to mention that real quick. Is I kind of want the jewelry for myself as well, and to wear around because people would definitely be curious.
Sure. Stay tuned. We're going to be opening the merch store, the Metaverse merch store soon.
Wonderful.
That makes complete sense. Every time Metaverse is in town for some kind of event, in-person event, we're always looking forward to the newest merchandise that they have to bring with us, and we're all representing them by the end of the conference. Everybody has some Metaverse gear on them.
Well, that's awesome, Sophia. Let's hear about you as well.
All right. Hi, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Sophia Moshasha. I would like to say I had a little bit of a career before XR, but I've been in XR for almost a decade now. It's hard to believe. And before that, I was in school. I was in school for marketing and Spanish, and always thought I wanted to be in advertising. But given the nature of the Washington, D.C. area where I lived, it's all revolved around government and consulting in that arena. So I actually started out doing consulting for Department of Homeland Security and the DoD on a cybersecurity contract, and did that for a few years, transitioned into leading marketing efforts for that consulting company, again, geared towards government, and then transitioned into XR. There was a company called Brightline Interactive, which many of you probably know, that did work. They actually worked within advertising, Fortune 500, experiential marketing, those types of things, which really interested me. And I thought that was going to be my way into getting into the advertising world. But from being exposed to the technology through Brightline, I ended up loving what I did and loving the technology, loving that I got to experience the technology through applying it to these different industry sectors that we were working in. And so here I am, 8 years and some change later, doing the good work with all of you guys. And yeah, so I would say a lot of what I do is based around really educating our industry, educating people outside of our industry, in various industry sectors. Actually, my background in government came into play full circle because a lot of people in our industry, in the technology industry, want to get into government. Government's investing a lot in these technologies, in the R&D of these technologies and deploying these applications. So I found that to be one of my sweet spots in this industry. So I call myself a professional dot connector, and I pride myself. I believe in the promise and value of collaboration and partnerships in everything that we do. And especially in this industry where we all have our unique perspectives and expertise and kind of value adds in different ways in terms of what our technologies can do, what our past performance has been in, and those types of things, and kind of making those all come together for these unique applications for specific purposes. That's kind of what I do, is I kind of know the players and make it my job to know the players and know the technologies that are being introduced, and kind of connecting those dots for purpose-driven applications.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate your
Can I just add one more thing,
Yeah.
Maxwell? If I can just add one more thing that the three of us do, and I think it's really, it's a bigger piece, and we come together to celebrate our community and the accomplishments through the work with Ben Irwin, working on the polys together. Sophia and I are co-hosts, but Karen's like behind the scenes co-host. And we've done that. We're coming up our 4th year this year, and it's events like that where we push the limits to, celebrating the immersive web and the developments and where we are today in an awards show that's unique and that sort of thing. So the three of us are a huge part of that. And we're proud to say we've done over 40 events with that community, teaching the community community about WebXR applications and this technology. So, we are, together we do our own things, but we also come together as thought leaders to help the industry move forward together. And it comes back to what all three of us have said, creating this technology and teaching people how to use it and putting perspective behind it and celebrating our work, because there's a lot of people that have been working this industry for years and years. And it's really only since the pandemic that we've been catapulted into this virtual world that people are recognizing the talents behind the scenes. So I think, on behalf of all three of us, we're super proud to be part of the Polys and putting best practices and standards into place with meta-traversal and those types of things like that. So being connected with community, I think, is like the prime thing for the three of us to, in our position today in this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Community and collaboration seems to be a really big part of XR Women, and bringing all of these women together. I was walking through your museum and seeing all of the events, 145 events, right? And I think this is the 145th, right?
This is the 145 today.
So,
yep.
So first off, let's give a huge round of applause for that. 3 years, 145 events. That is really incredible. And you've brought together so many amazing women that have had the opportunity to collaborate and have grown with their opportunities and what they've been able to do. And it's really amazing to see. So what is the inspiration behind XR Women? When was the moment you realized, hey, let's create this collaborative platform?
Karen?
I think actually, Sophia, did you want to take the first item there?
Sure. Yeah. So there are many wonderful communities and organizations out there that help support this industry, and that's actually kind of how we all met, through the VRAR Association, AWE, and things like that. But there wasn't a community group that was focused around women in particular, but really the idea of underrepresented groups of people in the industry, both not only by maybe gender and background, but by expertise as well, right? So a lot of the women that you'll see, or anybody, quite frankly, but especially the women, I would say, come from varying types of backgrounds and industries. And there wasn't kind of like a safe space to talk about how to enter in this industry or how to navigate it, and just ask questions outside of being a professional in the industry. And so we wanted to create that space where we could just all come together like we do here every week, and talk about it and help people.
Yeah,
and
that's absolutely
sorry,
right.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah. And the women that join this organization, I can imagine they come from a variety of different backgrounds. Do you find that there are some women that have been in XR for a long time and others that are looking to get into XR technology or just collaborate with fellow women?
Absolutely. And, there are some who are really deeply steeped into this industry and have been here for a while, and others who are brand new and are just starting out. And so, for example, we welcome people and we try to encourage them not to worry about it being their first time in VR. And if they do something that's a little awkward, it's okay. Because, even though some of us have been here for a while, we are still learning, and it takes a while to sort of acclimate ourselves. And every time we try a new platform, or a platform makes a change, sometimes there are adjustments that need to be made. And we find that women can make the connections through our community that will help propel them forward. Whether it's, for partnerships or for job opportunities, or just idea sharing and learning. The learning component is very important. And something that we have talked about before, and that is another reason for our group, another reason for us to really try to get behind one another and propel us forward, is the state of fundraising for women entrepreneurs. Which is, I know some of you have heard this before, but the percentage of VC capital that goes to women is 1.7%. Not 17%, 1/10 of 17%, 1.7%. That means 98.3% goes to men. Why is that? It's really makes it hard for women in this industry, and a lot of us here do have our own businesses, and we want to move those forward and succeed. And having the support of the other women in the field is one way we want to make that happen.
Yeah, sure. I can take that. So first of all, I'd like to just share that we have an amazing leadership team, because you can imagine that we're putting on 145 events now. It's not just the three of us running things. So we have an amazing team. And we have, both pre-production day and post-production day, events. So it's literally a full-time scope of work that kind of happens behind that. And we have an amazing team. But from there, we've also inspired the women who have gone on to make their own businesses and collaborate in their own ideas and go on their own missions. And Helen Irwin, she is an example of one of our XR women who went on to build her world not only in alt space, not only in spatial, but then went on to, deploy in Engage and collaborated with Christy Fennison and Austin Kane to be able to deploy that. And those types of collaborations of coming together and seeing, having a vision of what that person wants to see and then designing it. And then, now it's part of her life and it's part of her, what she's doing, being an author and telling stories. Trisha Blake is another person who was part of our community, and now she has gone on to build one of her worlds, My Third Bloom, in spatial. And she's talking about, women's discussions around menopause and just everything women-wise and opening those conversation doors again to another community. So, people like Caroline Dennis, she's also helping with VRAR Chicago, and those types of meetups and getting more involved. And again, it's expanding the community. It's expanding the community into things that people are passionate about and their stories, and bringing in more people into those worlds and inviting them. And, Trisha had a first-time event the other day, and 40% of them it was their first time in 3D, just 3D on their desktop. So, word spreads like wildfire when people have these amazing events that, are showcasing what they're doing, but also introducing them to this spatial awareness about, how, you are in this space and what you can do and the conversations you can have. So we're really proud about, just who we are, the leadership team that brings all of this together. And then beyond that is the XR women community who is, bringing forth all the good messaging that we have every week and the learning back into the community. So sorry, that was my dog making a really weird noise.
That's my dog is snoring right now, so I apologize if anybody can hear her. She's snoring a little bit. I'm actually turning towards her just to give her a light nudge so she knows that her dad is doing a very important interview.
Exactly.
So, well, that's wonderful. There's so much positivity that comes out of the community that I've noticed, and is that part of XR Women's mission? Because it seems like there's a lot that's part of the general mission of XR Women.
Yeah. I think, you go ahead, Sophia.
Sorry,
no.
Go ahead. Oh, sure. No, we want to be able to learn and grow from one another and take experiences that we're sharing with each other and inspire people to go on their own and realize that there again is a place for them and their background and expertise in this industry. We want to empower not only the next generation, but this generation of women in technology or women that want to get into technology. Technology is not just an industry in its own right, as of now, right, this day and age. Technology is infused in every industry that we're in, and I consider XR a new medium of communication, just like the TV, the radio, the internet, those types of things. So it's important that everybody gets to understand it and understand how to utilize that for their own needs, whatever that might be. So, we want to have mentoring programs. We want to nurture new talent, provide them guidance and support on their journey to success in this industry, and help amplify their voices, give them stages to be on. I mean, many people have spoken for their first times on an XR Woman stage, and it gives them not only exposure, but it boosts their confidence in what they're doing, right? Because everybody has important value to provide to this industry, because we're all kind of making it up as we go along. So like, we need these different perspectives to add to our perspectives of people that have even been doing it for 8 years, and so we want to help nurture those voices and help people be confident to speak their own voice, from their own background, from their own experiences with this technology, or what they even might think of this technology. So, and we think we're doing a good service, and everybody is, our community has grown over time. We have about 800 people that are that are members now. Our weekly newsletters going out to them. Our social media profiles are just keep growing, week after week. So we're really, really proud of the work that our team and our community has done.
Yes, and I'd like to add to that too. An important element of what we do is to celebrate the success of women in this industry. We really want to highlight the successes that women who are working in this space have had, and there are many, many talented women here. Yeah.
Here's what I absolutely love about your community is that there are women. What Sophia said especially was the first stage they talk on is an XR women's stage. And me and Ben actually had a great conversation at the Metacenter Global Conference. We were talking about immortalizing in history and immortalizing historical figures, immortalizing speeches, immortalizing everything. You are creating history with this organization that future women will be able to continue to be inspired by. And that's something that I really appreciate about your organization. And we had briefly talked about it the other day. There was I believe she was 15, 16 years old, a young girl who had worked with NASA, and she had created different projects. So when it comes to giving advice to these women, so I know this current generation, future generations, as well as generations that are kind of up and coming, what would you say to them? What is the advice that you would give them?
Sure, I can. Do you want to take that? Or I was going to talk about skill sets and just that there's something for everyone.
Yes, yeah. I'll throw in something at the end. Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think that, Sophia said it, we're building things on a daily, we're building the plane as we're flying it, let's admit, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. So, there's new jobs, there's new skill sets, there's new tools, new way of doing things. Immersive technologies obviously deploys a completely different experience that takes the instruction from the beginning to the result at the end to a completely different path. And in building these things, there's so many different processes, and starting with storytelling and having the spatial awareness to be able to do that is a skill in itself. And then being able to add elements or code anything deeper. Obviously, there is coding there. But the one thing that there's a stigma around developing this, that it's about coding, and it's not. There are so many roles around building these types of experience from the storytelling to the product, the product management, project management, the 3D tools, 3D animation, creation, design. There's so many things that need to be covered. We need everybody's involvement to make them. And there's so many different skills that can be applied. There's a job for everyone. And that would be my message to women, to girls. It's not just a place for men. It's not just a place of coding. Actually, coding is kind of like the last thing that's kind of talked about, and it's very quiet in the whole production of things, from my perspective. So, don't be afraid of this technology. Don't be afraid of these experiences and how to build them. Putting together the right team showcases those different skill sets and having them there. And that's another thing I think we're proud of, is a lot of the connections. There's some people in our communities that have started to work together on projects behind the scenes because they've met, through our weekly events too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I would say, in terms of advice to someone coming in is to be persistent. And if this is where you want to be, and for me, coming into XR was a passion. It was something I just became super, super excited about. And I still have that passion for this technology and what it can do and the way that it brings people together and improves people's capabilities in so many different ways. But pursuing that dream can be hard sometimes, pursuing the dream of being involved in this industry. And maybe you have to, do something else on the side but continue to pursue it. If this is what you want, persist and stick with it and have that growth mindset, which will allow you to understand that, yes, you can learn new skills that you might want or need to participate in this industry. And yeah, Julie's right. There are many skills out there. You don't have to learn all of them, but if you do want to learn new ones, you can do it.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, not only are there many types of roles beyond being a developer in this industry, but I tend to harp on and focus on and emphasize the need for subject matter expertise in other industries, because we are building for others. We're building for our clients, and we can be the best technologists out there, but if we don't understand how to build the best applications for the people that we're serving, then the point's null. So we need nurse practitioners or practitioners in healthcare to build healthcare applications. We need people that are in the military, have had experience in military to build for the defense. We need people in education, teachers and practitioners in education to build for education and really understand what it's going to take to really succeed in providing solutions for those industries. So even if you don't know anything about the technology, just having that background is variable for this industry's growth. And then in terms of a piece of advice that I would give, and something that I had done and can still continue to do, as demonstrated by Julie and Karen also, and what they were saying about industry initiatives, I would say just do good for the industry. As I first started in thought leadership type of initiatives and just helping to write a white paper for the VRA Association, for the marketing committee, and I was just doing research for them and writing the white paper, and I was gaining industry knowledge by doing that. I was able to put my name on something that was viable and something that other people were learning from. And to this day, I keep getting involved in initiatives like that to better my knowledge about the technology and the things that I'm talking about and doing, but also to help elevate myself in the industry and help educate other people about the research that I'm doing in the industry as well. So there's so many other things that you can do besides having a job, in a full-time job in the industry, like Karen was saying. There's other side things that you can do that are really going to make an impact in both helping yourself in your knowledge, but also helping others in the industry as well.
Project. I remember joining the Virtual World Society, and they were doing so much good that I volunteered. I was like, how can I help? Like, I'll help for free. I'll do whatever you want, because I just wanted to be part of that. So have you found that as well, that especially these women that come into your weekly events are like, you know what? I was thinking about a project. I wasn't sure about it, but I'm surrounded by all this ambition, all this positive energy, all this success. I want to start my own project. I want to start learning to code. I want to learn to use Blender and these different things.
Yeah, that would be our spin-offs, right? Like Trisha and Helen, and they spun off. But I have to say, last year when the leadership team decided what we were going to focus on for 2023, one of the big words was confidence, right? And I'm happy to say I saw a news article the other day that over 40% of women are feeling more confident this year than they ever were. Whether it had anything to do with us, I don't know, but that was our word of the year, and I'll take it. But maybe that's what happened, is that our community just spread in confidence, just seeing other women, doing amazing things. And we have this XR Women Museum in Frame, which the wall is like covered in amazing topics and women around the world doing things that have never been done before. And to see that wall, that museum, that significance of impact, from raising money or changing training or, doing something artful or design or entertainment. It's nice to see that these women are featured. And if we've been able to help other women find confidence in themselves, then we're winning. Right? Like, that's why we started this 3 years ago.
Yes.
That was the whole purpose of this. So if it's spreading like wildfire, yes. There's no reason not to be, and to feel more empowered by our community. If we've started that, we're going to keep going and keep doing it.
Yeah. And I do love to see that, because I love what you say, spread it like wildfire, and one of the things that too I wanted to mention is my fiance, who I love, Molly, who I love more than anything in the world. And one of the things that her managers have talked to her about is, be confident, have confidence in yourself, because you are smart, you are capable, you are incredible. And I tell her that every single day, even if she gets annoyed. I'm kidding. She never gets annoyed. But I tell her all the time how beautiful and wonderful and how smart she is. And is there more that we could be doing to inspire that confidence? How do you inspire this confidence? Is it words of affirmation? Is it more than that? Because I want to be able to inspire confidence in others as well. And I'm sure in the XR Women community, inspiring that confidence, I know, is a huge part of that communication and that messaging.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
I think sometimes it's as simple as I don't even think that maybe they have the capability of speaking effectively about these topics with other people. So I think just that alone, and people building a community of people that want to talk to one another about these, and just a no judgment community, right? I think that can help a lot, and having people that you can go to ask questions or for help, and to just bounce ideas off one another, those types of things. I think that that can inspire confidence in a big way.
Yeah, and I do think, too, that you're absolutely right, Maxwell, that women in our group see others who are succeeding and doing amazing things and become inspired by that. And that's one of the, I'm gonna take us off on a slight tangent here, but that's one of the reasons we established the XR Women Awards. And we have, for 3 years now, we have presented awards in the categories of trailblazer, real world impact, and innovation. And so we, as I said before, we want to celebrate the successes of women in our industry. And this is a way to recognize them and for them to be able to say, hey, I won an award in this category. And that helps to amplify their voice and the way that people see them, perceive them. And it's a way for us to honor those in our community who are doing such great work. And we're really proud of the women who have been the recipients of this award. You can see them in the XR Women Museum in frame. This year's award winners were for innovation. Deirdre Lyons, who may be here, she was here. Yes, there she is. She's still here for her work in helping to establish an entirely new genre of immersive theater. And to Athena Demos for her work as a trailblazer in bringing Burning Man to VR. It did not happen at all in person in 2020, but it happened in VR, and she made that happen. And then for Real World Impact, Paige Danzinger, who I believe is also here, and the work that she has done in creating communities and in helping women to use XR and finding skills in VR to gain that confidence or to heal from bad experiences and to bring people together to learn these things is really, really powerful. So we think so much of our award winners. We're incredibly proud of them. And, it would take too long to talk about the first 2 years, but ask me if you want to know later.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you have a lot of spinoffs with XR Women. So, For Mothers Cafe, which you had mentioned before previously, which had existed within Engage, and all these great projects that kind of come out. And does that really excite you? All these different projects that start to kind of be created from XR Women because of this collaboration? Because you can sit down and you can say, because of this community that I created, we have these projects, we have these experiences, we have these new technologies that get developed. So on top of bringing people together and creating this positivity, it also seems like you're producing like so much, like you said, Julie, it's spreading like wildfire and it's creating new technologies and new ways of doing things.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Like we're saying, creating and getting the confidence from our community alone, and then being able to have that instinct to go out and say, I can create my own thing, or I can go out and speak, or I can go and, think about things completely different because I learned something last week at XR Women, or I met somebody. It's a chain of community, and a chain of community that's doing good, and we're learning from each other. Our biggest thing is knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest confidence pieces that women can have when she comes to the table or to a conversation. If she knows what she's talking about, she can have the same conversation and have the same amount of impact as a man can. And, that's the reason why we created this, was to learn. And we embrace our allies and welcome them. And, I know you said you're supportive of your wife and saying all those things, but continuing on as allies, speak our names out there and, suggest somebody if you see that there is an imbalance in a conversation, if there isn't diversity in a conversation. I think that's the biggest thing for, message and call to action for our allies. If you ever need a speaker, we're here. We have a database of women who are ready to speak. So there's no excuses of not being able to find somebody who can talk about AI, who can talk about immersive training and nursing, who can talk about, bringing a TV show into an entertainment, into an immersive space. We know a lot of amazing women who are doing so many things, and we can help build that. And there's just no reason why there shouldn't, there should be any imbalance of that in the conversation, but allowing women to have those confident conversations with the knowledge they have will elevate their presence in, anywhere they are.
Yeah. Very well said, Julie. Yes, absolutely. And yes, there's no reason any of you allies here, if you're organizing events, there's no reason for you to be short of women speakers. Make sure that we're well represented. We are here to help with that. And also, as Julie said, if there's an opportunity, speak the name of a woman, whether it's in an email saying, oh, I know a woman who's working on that. Even just mentioning people helps to elevate the way they are known for the work that they do. So we really think that the help of our allies is important, and we are calling on you to do this little bit of work. Just say our names in rooms where there is opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I definitely have such a passionate interest in, I want to be an ally as much as possible, especially as a man. I haven't had to deal with prejudice that women have. I haven't had to deal with the same things that my fiance Molly has had to deal with in this community. So I can imagine that me speaking up in times where prejudice is taking place or stereotypes are taking place can also be helpful in that way, where I'm saying, hey, listen, this is about being fair. This is about women being at the table and having their voices heard. So as an ally, is that a good way for me to help?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Sophia.
I mean, there are so many people that are just looking to get involved in any way, shape, or form. So there's opportunity for the picking for anybody that is looking for knowledgeable people in this space, and we, like I said, we have our community database is like over 800 people now, and we're not going to give out any of that information, obviously, but we know what the expertise is of all, and there's so much out there that we're still even learning from, where I'm learning about new skills, new industries, new types of projects from each and every person that comes in. So I think it would behoove us to not tap in to the talent and skill sets and knowledge of some of the women in particular in our community. And the type of knowledge of these various people in the community doesn't really exist anywhere, right? And so, and we have a lot of it. So if you're really looking for someone to even talk to and pick their brains, we have access to a lot of women that are willing to share. So, I would say the first stop would be to come to XR Women, come join us in one of our weekly events that we have in Wednesdays in the Engage platform. Come hear from the incredible people that are speaking every single week. Visit the XR Woman Museum in Frame. It has the archives of everything that we've done over the past few years. And you can see for yourself some of the expertise of these women that are coming in. It is absolutely incredible, both from in the industry, but also on the skirts of the industry as well, that are kind of bringing in these different capabilities and tools in the industries that they serve and work in also. So it's definitely a good learning opportunity for everyone, I'd say. And yeah, we have people that are hungry to share. So please do get involved and reach out and befriend us.
Yes.
Yes. And Sophia, you mentioned Engage, where we are, of course, and we're really grateful to the folks at Engage for hosting us and for providing us with tips and information when we need it. I've been coming into Engage since 2017, but until we sort of made it our home base, there wasn't a lot that I didn't know about administrating events, and I've learned a lot and have been grateful for the help of the Engage team. But also, we had the chance to do a fireside chat with Sandra Whalen, who is one of the co-founders of Engage and the chief operating officer. And Julie and Sandra had this amazing conversation, which they connected on so many levels as women getting it done in this industry. I don't know, Julie, if you want to say anything more about that.
Yeah, no, it was a great conversation. Sandra and I hold similar roles in our company, so we had some time to reflect on some same perspectives. But again, seeing Engage grow has also been a sweet thing for me, because Engage has been around for so many years now, just seeing the capabilities and what we're doing and being able to go to different platforms to see, what features are important. How do we manage them immersively or on desktop? And that's why we're doing our work in the polys and doing portal crawls and learning about the platforms, because it's growing so fast, and keeping tabs on it, knowing about what's important, and then we can bring that knowledge back into what we're doing in our companies and how we're running our businesses. So yeah, it was a great conversation.
I have something to say about what one of the things that I'm excited about, and this is probably pretty specific and short term, but mixed reality and the capabilities for mixed reality. First, with the Quest Pro, and then with the Quest 3, which I got to try last week with Robin Mulder, one of our leadership team members, who is the CEO of 3 Pound Games and 3 Pound XR. Games that she's developing in mixed reality for the Quest 3 are really incredible, so much fun. And the mixed reality capability is super, super exciting to me. So I will say that for something short term.
Sure. I think what excites me, there's a lot of things that I see on the forefront, but I guess one of the most exciting things that excited me was a couple of weeks ago, Christy Fennison launched the Flying Saucer in World, and it was fed into my house here just outside of Toronto, and we had a live event, and we basically had a party within this virtual event, and then fed the camera in so that people virtually could see the live party. And explaining that to some friends of mine this past weekend, and their eyes light up and like, that's happening now? And I'm like, yeah, that was last weekend, and that excites me, because it's like bringing the hybrid into these events is really the only way I think that we're all going to catapult and have everybody kind of accept, okay, you have to be in world or you have to be live, and you can do both, and we can offer both, and that sort of thing. I think that's an evolutionary step to this technology where adoption will start to increase and offering that. So that's what I'm most excited about, is trying to bring these worlds together and then having fun with it and learning together as we grow. Sophia?
What am I most excited about for this industry? I'm still looking for that killer application. Or applications. I think, again, collaboration is key. And as much as I love the technology and the promise of it, we continue to need applications that just make people's lives easier. We're all in this industry because we are proponents of the technology. We're early adopters, which there aren't many of us out there. People need to be convinced that these are the tools that they need in their lives in various capacities. So we need to partner with the big retailers of the world, like Metaverse is doing. We need to partner with the payment companies, MasterCards, and those types of things, the big educational institutions, those types of things that are the pinnacle of spearheading what they do in their own industries, in their own rights, to really get involved in helping to spearhead different applications and projects in this industry. And I think that that will really help drive adoption. So I'm really excited for more of those collaborations to happen. And that's great. And that goes back to kind of what I was saying in terms of people coming from these various industries and these various expertise and positions in their past lives. We need more advocates for people to do that. Sorry, it's my reminder for water. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
I want to. No, I'm sorry. You weren't finished, Sophia?
That's it. Nope.
Okay.
finished.
Yeah, no,
Go
I'm
ahead.
just conscious of the time, and I want to make sure that we've peppered some names out there before, but I want to
Yes.
acknowledge the members of our leadership team. Jenna Lambert, who is doing some incredible work with The Artisans and, oh gosh, I'm going to get it maybe wrong, but with Lighthouse, doing work for using XR for veterans to help them deal with their issues. Trisha Blake, who we already mentioned, who started My Third Bloom and is doing incredible things there. Wendy Sherman, who is an artist, and she stays behind the scenes, but she really is important in getting things done and is such a stalwart member of our team. Caroline Dennis, Colleen Belitz, who was just here and who, suggested that we do this with you, Maxwell. Christine Hill-Hobby, who works with training applications for XR. Also, Robin Mulder, who I mentioned from 3 Pound Games and 3 Pound XR. Did I miss anyone? I think we covered them all. But
Yeah, and then
absolutely.
yeah, so we're sitting up here, but we couldn't do what we do without the support and the consistent efforts of these other women who really put their time in. And not just that, but other people who are here who come to our events every week and who participate in the conversations on Slack and who are doing their own work and bringing it to us all so that we can learn from them. We appreciate all of you very much. It takes all of us for XR Women to be what it is.
Yes, absolutely. Well, seriously, I'm again so honored to be sitting on this stage. I was telling my fiance all about it, and I was like, I'm so excited. But of all the shows that I've done, and I'm going to be candid. I'm going to be candid with the audience. I used to be candid a lot of times as a broadcaster. I was so nervous, especially for this one, because XR Women is just, I like to think that I've always been an ally. I've been surrounded by powerful women all my life, and women that have really influenced me. And, especially when I was younger, I had so many different women who were incredibly successful that really inspired me with their success, and their just their energy was so powerful and so positive and so wonderful. And it's an honor to know, Colleen as well. So seriously, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I do want to take time also to plug a couple of things. I can bring the screen back up, which I think would be wonderful. So if it appears back up, there it is.